Guys, I hope you're having an awesome evening, and I hope that you get a lot of information from this. So, look, if you're doing everything right, you're working hard, you're showing up, you're paying the bills, but still feel behind, guess what? This live is going to be for you tonight. All right. I'm talking to Gen Xers. So, people like myself, first of all, welcome, Colleen. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're having an awesome evening. So Gen Xers, we were promised security. If we worked hard and nobody explained what happens when the costs explode and paychecks don't, right? When costs went up, back in the day, we were good. Today, totally different. So tonight, I want to show you a different way to work, not harder and not longer. Okay, I want to talk to you guys about this. So before we get started here, guys, I want you to know this business opportunity, this business I'm talking about today, digital marketing, is for anybody and everybody, from 18 to 80. But tonight, I'm going to be talking more directly to Gen Xers like myself, because that's who I am. I'm a Gen Xer, and I know where you're coming from in that aspect. You know, being burnt out, overworked, underpaid, guess what? That was me, guys, 100%. Overworked all the time, burnt out. Oh, I was so burnt out. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm so excited you're joining me tonight. Underpaid? Well, I think 99% of people today are underpaid for what they do. A lot of people have to have a second or third job because, well, they just can't make a living off of one job anymore. Okay. Uh, this is for people who are worried about retirement. This is for people who are worried about inflation and seeing how fast time is slipping away, right? Nowadays, as we get older, the one thing I'm noticing, at least it feels this way, time moves a lot faster now that I'm in my mid 50s than when I was in my 20s, right? It just seems like time just slips away so much faster now. Maybe it's because I'm on the other side of that scale of, now it's like, holy crow, you're going to be 60 before you know it, and then 65 and beyond. So it really makes a difference. All right. This is for people who don't want another boss. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate the idea of having a boss, right? I don't want something that's going to make me grind harder. Okay. I didn't want that. I didn't want another hype offer, where they say, oh, you just do this, you work hard, you do this, and boom, you're going to make lots of money. No, that's not what this is all about. Okay. This is for people who want their time back, who want ownership over their time and not just another side hustle. So let me introduce myself a little bit more so you get to know who I am and my backstory, because I think it's very important to get to know the person you're watching. So as I said, guys, my name is David, and I used to work in private security. I was actually contracted with immigration here in Canada to go around to all the jails throughout Ontario, pick up all the non-Canadians who couldn't behave themselves. So for over 10 years, I was in and out of every single jail and penitentiary throughout Ontario. And I'm very proud to tell you that I never committed a crime in order to do that. Now, guys, I was dealing with people that were not good people, all right? And it was affecting me physically and mentally. I was missing out on holidays. I was missing out on weekends. I was missing out on family moments. After a while, I realized I was missing out on so much. I was burnt out, as I said, physically and mentally. It just took a toll on me, right? So I decided it was time for something different. I was sitting down with my wife and we decided, well, another job wasn't going to do it because, I didn't want to grind harder. I was already working 50 or 60 hours at a time, and I didn't want more of that. So we started looking around and we found the MLM world, and we looked at a couple opportunities and found one that worked out really well for us. I'll be honest, we did extremely well with this one company. We stayed with them for quite a while. And then one day the company decided that they were going to change the way they do business. So everything that we were doing to build our business was taken away. And that's when I realized that I really didn't have control over my business, because the company can come in and change things in a heartbeat. I've seen MLMs close the door all of a sudden, and, people miss out on so much. So I knew that, when that happened, I had to find something else. And I'll be honest with you, I tried a lot of different businesses over the next couple of years. And, some did well and most did not go well, right? So I've had my ups and downs and that. And it got to a point where I was seriously considering going back to work. And then I saw a post that a mentor of mine did, and it grabbed my attention. It was talking about this digital business. he was talking about 100% commission. And he was talking about this community of people and everything. I was like, oh my God, this just might be what I'm looking for. So I reached out to my mentor and I said, hey, tell me about what you're doing. He said, better yet, here's the website. I want you to go. I want you to take a look at everything. I want you to make an informed decision. I'll answer any of your questions and we'll go from there. I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me. I could do that. So I went to the website he sent me. I looked everything over. I watched some videos and I was like, this makes total sense. This is exactly what I wanted. It was, no uplines, no downlines, and everything that I was looking for. I was like, okay, I've got to get involved with this, right? Because I was tired of chasing leads. I was tired of being on the phone. With MLMs, guys, I was on the phone. It felt like 24/7, right? If I was awake, I had my earbud in and I was listening and talking to people and sharing the opportunities. I was chasing people on the phone. I got to tell you, I was so tired of that, right? I was tired of searching for something stable. The one thing I did not want somebody saying, oh, this is a get rich quick scheme. No, that's the nice thing about digital marketing. It is not. Okay. This is something that you can take control of. So, one of the biggest problems I've seen with uh, people working is we're taught to trade time for money, right? We go to work and we get paid for the time that we're there. Okay. What about the times when you're not there? What about when you're sick, right? You don't get paid for that. I mean, some people say, well, I've got sick days. Okay, fine. But what about when you're on vacation? Don't get paid during that time, do you? And what if the business closes its doors all of a sudden? Paycheck's gone. What do we do? Right? Like things are closing and businesses are shutting down faster and faster, it seems nowadays. So there's no security in any job. I don't care how long you've been with a job. I've seen people who've been with corporate America, as example, for 20, 25 years. And then one day they get a call into the office and said, we don't need you anymore. We were done. Thanks for all the hard work, but we're going to let you go. Right? So when you stop and think about that, that's a really scary fact, right? One paycheck, guys, one paycheck doesn't cut it anymore for people, right? My wife and I each had jobs and we were barely getting by with 2 paychecks. And I mean, barely, right? One boss. How? No. If you think about who owns your time the most, I'll tell you who it is. It's your boss. Your boss tells you when to work, when you can take a break, when you can go home, what is expected of you, right? He says, oh, you need to come in and work over the weekend, or you need to work late tonight, get this report done or get that done, right? They control your time. They control your income. And that's a really scary thing when you stop and think about it, right? Like I said, when you stop working, income stops. Think about that for a moment. And I got to tell you, that model is breaking down fast. Retirement math no longer works for most people. Excuse me while I get a drink for my tea here. So let's talk about those aha moments. Let me ask you something. Have you seen you've seen wealthy people, right? And you see them working longer hours. You see them working harder. I don't see them putting in long hours and stuff, right? They build systems that work without them, right? They build something that, they put it into motion and it works without them, right? Digital business is the same idea, okay? It gives you an automated system. Automation is the key nowadays, guys. If you don't have automation in your business, you're falling behind, okay? Digital business is a global reach. So it doesn't matter if you've been in an MLM like me, right? If you are or you were, right? You know that you can only reach so many people in so many countries or so many places. Here, if they've got an internet connection, congratulations, you're reaching out to all those people all around the world who are watching you, which is powerful, right? Something that I really loved, one of the biggest things for me when I saw this was there's no inventory. Guys, in MLM, I don't know about you guys, but I had to buy products every month, and that was getting expensive. And it started adding up, right? Because I wasn't going through all those products all the time. I mean, I was selling them, but I still had stock in the house and around the house, and that's a pain. Here, there is no inventory, no employees to worry about, right? No physical location. You don't have to drive somewhere. You don't have to get up and get to the office or to a building and open up and close and everything else. None of that. Now, here's the biggest thing, guys. This isn't about social media fame. So if you're thinking, well, that's great, but I'm not dancing on TikTok, or I don't have a big following and all this other stuff, don't worry. Neither did I, and neither will I. I will not dance on TikTok. You don't want to see that. It's a very scary thought. It's all about leverage. That's what this business is all about. So what am I doing now? I'm running a fully automated digital business. Okay. I work 2 hours a day, give or take, and the system runs 24/7 in the background. So when I'm eating, sleeping, spending time with my wife, while we're traveling, whatever else we're doing, the business is always working in the background. Okay. It can make sales, as I said, while I'm asleep. It can make sales while I'm with family or while I'm off the clock doing my own thing. Right. We're going to talk about this business. It's called the Legacy Builder Program. It's a step-by-step digital business blueprint. All right. It's built for normal people and not tech experts. So many times I've heard people say, but I'm not a tech expert. Guess what? Either am I. Okay. My wife does most of my fixing of my phone and stuff because I am just not that techie. Okay. It's built for people who are just done and want to plug into something that works, right? You don't have to build anything from scratch with this. Can you imagine if you had to build everything from scratch every time? No, not me. That's not me. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you guys are here. I see you popping on, and I appreciate you. Okay. You just got to follow a proven system. We have over 58,000 people from around the world that are doing this business right now, guys. So it doesn't matter if you're 18 to 80, right? There are people who are doing this. Some are just getting started, and some have been doing it for a while. And we have one of the most incredible communities when you're a part of this, guys. It's just an incredible experience. So what does this include? People always ask me. Well, it's a pre-built automated sales system. Okay. Training, it shows you how digital marketing actually works, how to attract the right people. So you're not cold calling, you're not DMing people. I don't know about you, but I've had people, slide into my DMs and talk to me for a minute, and then try to hit me up with another business opportunity or something else. And it's just like, that's just wrong. I don't know about you guys, but I find that creepy. And I would never do that. I never want anybody else to do that because that's not how you build a business. Okay. Uh, we're going to teach you how to automate your income, guys, which is really important. So you're not always on the phone, well, as a matter of fact, I'm never on the phone. So you're not on the computer all the time, right? You're going to get 4 digital products to resell, guys. There's a $100 program. There's a $300 program. There's a $600 program. And there's a $900 program. Now, guys, here's the best part about it. Each and every one of those programs is 100% commission based. So think about it. If you sold the $100 commission, $100 program, that's 100% yours. Okay. The 300, all yours. The 600, all yours. What about the $900? What would an extra $900 do for you? I mean, that could be life-changing, guys, right? And it's 100% yours. There's no upline, there's no downline, no sidelines, nobody to stop you, nobody to take money from you, which is really, really powerful and really exciting for me personally. Okay. There's a one-time setup fee. There's no inventory. There's no shipping of products, guys. When I was in MLM, shipping of products, people were excited, 4 or 5 days later, like, yeah, I'll get to you later. Right. That was always the hard part. Here, you plug in and you get started right away. Okay. We have a massive community of support. Like I said, over 58,000 people who are doing this business every single day. Okay. And we're growing by leaps and bounds. There is online live training and mentorship happening all the time. And here's one of the coolest things. As you're going through the setup and training, guys, once you go through the training, you're going to take a certification course. And once you pass that, you're going to become a certified reseller for our products. Now, what does that mean? It's going to give you more belief and it's going to give you a little more standing when somebody says, oh, you're certified at this business. Yes, I am. So they're like, okay, so you know what you're doing, so we're going to follow what you're doing because you're following a proven system just like everybody else. That's awesome. That's what's exciting about all this. So why does this work for most people, especially busy people? Because we're all busy. We got work, we got family, we got jobs, we've got life happening, right? You don't need experience. So you're not going to be sitting down trying to figure this all out all the time, right? You don't need a big following. You don't need fancy tech skills. Okay. If you're watching this, guess what? You're probably going to be able to rock this business because that's basically all it takes. If you can do the basics, you can build this business. Okay. But let's talk about the things you do need. Okay. There are a few things that are very important. Number one, consistency. You need to be willing to say, okay, every day I'm going to put 2 hours aside to build my business. Maybe it's an hour here, an hour there, or 2 hours straight. Believe me, guys, we can all find 2 hours throughout a day. Instead of watching the news, build your business. Instead of watching that favorite program live, watch it recorded and work your business. There's always space to find that. Okay. Next thing, guys, you need to be willing to follow the proven steps. Okay. I know a lot of people say, yes, I can do that. And then they go off and they try doing it themselves. And they can't figure out why things aren't working the way they're supposed to because they're not following the proven steps. So make sure you're doing that. And remember, 2 focused hours. Okay. Focused hours. Not, oh, I was on the computer, but I had to go to Facebook. I had to do Messenger. I had to watch some TikTok stuff. That's not focused. Follow the plan, 2 focused hours. That's it, guys. Why I trust this system, though, guys, I got to tell you, it's predictable, it's scalable, it doesn't rely on trends or hype. Okay. Remember, I didn't invent this. God knows I wish I did, but I didn't. I'm just one of 56,000 people, or 58 now, 1,000 people who plugged into it. Remember, same system, same steps, real people winning daily. That's what this is all about. So what this really gives you guys, honestly, is it gives you your time back. It gives you options. It gives you options to do things that you've always wanted to do. Whether it's taking up that hobby, whether it's spending more time with the people that you love, whether it's, just waking up late in the mornings for a change. It gives you those options, and that's really important. And here's the biggest thing that I find it gave me. It's confidence. Okay, because once you learn how to do this, your confidence grows by leaps and bounds. You control your income. And the best part, guys, it's a future that doesn't depend on a boss or a pension. So no boss saying, no, you can't go on vacation. No boss saying, no, you can't come in late. No, you can't have a hangover and start your business at noon, right? It's your business. You get to do it when you want. That's the power of it. So who should take action, you think? Well, if you feel behind and don't know how to catch up, this is for you. If retirement worries you guys, this is for you. If you're tired of always being on, you got it. This is for you. And if you want a system that works when you don't, you know the answer. This is definitely for you. So if this is speaking to you, do me a favor, guys. Click the link in my bio, watch the videos, and snoop around and decide if this is the right opportunity for you. Look, no pressure, just information. All right. And if you're tired of always being on, it's time to build a business that works when you don't. Guys, I hope you're having an awesome evening. I appreciate your time tonight. I appreciate you hanging out with me. And I look forward to hanging out with you again very, very soon on here. Have yourselves an awesome evening.